Hello and welcome to my podcast, Tennis Enthusiasts. I am currently a tennis coach and a former professional tennis player. Here, we will dive into a topic that will significantly impact the way you play or coach tennis from various perspectives, including those of professional tennis coaches and players. From my experience as a professional tennis player and as a coach, I will suggest valuable insights. Therefore, the topic that we will overview is called emotional resilience. Yes, you heard that right. It is a psychological strength. You see, tennis isn't all about speed, accuracy, or physical strength. It is also a lot about a player's mind. Pressure, mistakes, and how the player deals with them is the true champion. Today, I will discuss different strategies before, during, after, and after a game tournament and different tools with other professional coaches and my personal coaching experience. I will also share experiences from international coaches in Spain and the USA. It does it doesn't matter if you are just starting to play tennis or beginning to start your coaching career. It will give you actionable tools to understand and improve your mentality or give that mentality to people that you coach before the match. The importance of a strong mindset stands out when a player is about to play a tennis match against someone. There are three categories of the match, and we will start from before the match. Before playing against someone, it is very normal to feel nervous, and it does not matter whether you are just playing in a local tournament or a tournament that will impact your career. The only goal during this time is to transfer that nervousness into focus and confidence so that it would not overwhelm you. Some of the strategies are: first, calming your mind through listening to music or reviewing a plan with your coach. It is very important not to make it seem a very big tournament in your head to maintain as low pressure as possible. A strategy for this particular step is called shrinking the match, where you focus not on the whole game, but only tell yourself that you will play, for example, two games or only 1 point, so that your whole focus stays in the present and you perform as if it were your last point. However, it depends on each of us. For example, Rafael Nadal, a very known tennis player, performs even better when he is under pressure. Second, you have to analyze yourself. You have to know your weaknesses to avoid them and know your strengths to use them. To know this, you may use the self-scouting strategy, where you outline your two shots that you are confident with and one that is risky, in your opinion. It is important to have backup strategies for winning in case your first approach does not work out. First, use your plan A, which is more aggressive. And if it doesn't work, switch to plan B, which is safer but less aggressive. This will also allow you to feel ready and increase the chances of winning. Lastly, focus. Being calm before the match might show your opponent that you are not scared, of him, and that you are ready. You can use the pre-match centering routine, where you would breathe in and out slowly for 2 or 3 minutes to calm yourself. Moreover, in top-level tennis, you can see how the professional players walk out and prepare before the match, being quiet, calm, and emotionless. This silent walkout strategy, where the players act ignorant and emotionless, not only makes their opponents aware of your focus, but you naturally become focused on the game itself. If you're a coach and want to prepare your player for the match, always prepare around 2 to 3 strategies of a game plan and at least 1 or 2 backup plans, and make sure the player understands them. Always support and cheer for your players as a coach to show respect, which has a huge impact on your player positively. Believe me. Always stop players when they do not let go of previous mistakes that are impacting them currently. What was in the past stays in the past, and it will not ruin the future performance of the game. Moving on during the match. After this stage, you move on to the game time. It is one of the most important stages because here you are being tested by yourself and your coach, and the start is the toughest. The goal is to just confidently start your warm up and the game itself. Never worry if the first points are messy and there are dumb mistakes. It happens for all the players. You just have to use this opportunity as a way of understanding your opponent and making the situation beneficial. The main strategies during the actual game are control of emotions. It is never right to show your anger or fear because your opponent is like you, and he will understand that he is winning by seeing your emotions of loss. Remember, giving a psychological advantage to your opponent is worse than just losing one stupid point. To prevent that, use the box breathing strategy after points to do a quick restart of your physical state. Secondly, apply small routines like deep breaths in between points. One strategy that always used was to inhale air and breathe out only half of the air right before serving or receiving a ball. This allows you not to become frozen and hesitant. Also, constantly try to speak to yourself and imagine it as if you have a chat with your own mind. You will become calmer and might even start performing like you never did. Lastly, stay in the zone. The zone is a balance point when you are relaxed, not under pressure, and feeling free, but you are still trying your best. Always maintain this feeling because it will save you. Trust me. You can think of it uh, as when you don't care about a match and you play freely and actually perform well. This is basically the same thing. For this particular aim, you can use the same box breathing strategy that will allow you to breathe freely and combine the shrinking the match strategy so that you would feel free physically and mentally. For coaches, it is very important to teach your players a couple-second reset routine that would be personalized just for them, and that would actually help them cope with the darkness in the head. It is important to constantly stimulate the moments of pressure in practices so that your player actually has experience. During a match, never react very emotionally to your players' mistakes because, trust me, they really take this as a turn down and instead they need support. There is one common mental tool that is called the ACC strategy: accept, control, choose. Accepting stands for understanding that there are lucky shots or mistakes are made by everyone. When you accept this, you do not begin to build frustration and anger. Control is when you focus on something that you can manage, like your emotions. Always stay calm in the ups and downs. Lastly, choose. This is to plan your next move. You can choose to either be frustrated or adjust your strategy and look only forward, and not stop yourself due to previous points. The logical choice would be to move on. For the coaches, always let your players determine what could have been controlled in a situation where they made a mistake. Don't just tell them what was wrong and why. Let them develop their own mindset so that it can be used as a shield in a match. Lastly, after the match. Moving on to the last stage, after the match, is more important than you may think. It is like a reflection of your actions. This is the perfect opportunity to learn and progress. Here are some key steps after your match. First, calm reflection. Here you will reflect on your mistakes and strengths without feeling angry with yourself. You could watch videos of your match with your coach and speak it out. There might be reasons for certain mistakes. Yet again, this has to be analyzed without self-criticism. A very popular method by professional players, especially young ones, is post-match reflection. The best way to record your reflections and future goals is to have a notebook in which you will reflect. Secondly, lesson identification. You have to see what worked out and how you reacted to different situations. After receiving this feedback from yourself and your coach, it will be easier to move on. Cope with the loss or the win, and your future practices will be dedicated to learning from these mistakes. Also, use the neutral language technique, as if you were reporting facts about the match to an interviewer. This will prevent self-judgment and give you an actual understanding of your performance. And lastly, setting goals. From your insights, you have to set goals for yourself to improve for your next tournament. And it does not have to be specifically about the psychological side, but overall. you can use a very beneficial strategy called the SMART goal strategy. The word SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Based on this strategy, you have to create a future goal that applies to all categories from the word SMART. For coaches, let your players write a couple of weaknesses and strengths right after a match in a notebook to allow them think critically and memorize what should be improved or continued. Also, tell them to create one tactical, one technical, and one mental goal after each match and training. As a coach, never let your players dwell on a loss for too long, because their confidence will decrease and there will be no improvement and joy in tennis, which is the most important thing in this sport. There are a couple of insights from professional coaches as well. By interviewing some professional Lithuanian coaches, I heard some insight that might be very important. First, some players completely change the style of their play and attitude just by having the reset, by either breathing out or talking to themselves. Second, when there are signs of losing, the players begin to argue with themselves, tense body, and other ways that stop players from being calm. When you notice this as a coach, you have to immediately stop this before it is too late. Third, very good players' big mistake is the struggle uh, is dwelling on mistakes, and it does not matter if they benefit from the simulated pressure drills in practice. A very valuable skill to teach players is to reset their own mind after several mistakes or a loss. Lastly, emotional resilience is optional, but it is a very valuable skill that should be known and taught to everyone. In other words, this skill is a way to success. Always prepare for each stage, before, during, and after the match. However, choose strategies that apply to you the best, since everyone is different and requires personalized strategies. And be aware of the ACC strategy. Accept what happens, control your reaction, and choose the response that will lead you to victory. With experience and practice, you will become a stronger player mentally every day and will be able to destroy any opponent on the court once you step on the court. Thank you for listening to my podcast today and good luck on your tennis journey. Vamos!